and I finished off Hunter x Hunter, which...
As in, you caught up, or as in it's over?
It's over.
Oh, okay.
I went from episode 60 whatever to 148. Now, being sick as fuck for about 5 of those days really helped.
Got it.
And then there was just like 2 nights of just like I bet I can do it, and I
all
totally
of it.
did. Yeah, all of it.
Wow.
All the way to 148. So the last update that I gave you is what was it? Hey, what happens when your manga artist just wants to do a completely different story and goes from like a murder fucking heist movie to fuck it, yay, it's Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Why not?
Why not? Probably the goofiest thing that coincided with today's podcast is on our subreddit is, hey, check out the author of Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho's room. Did you see this photo?
I did not.
It is him in front of a CRT swimming in literal garbage. Like hoarder. Like
bold.
Trash.
That's insane.
Right?
That's fucking... What is that?
So apparently it is suspected that many of his health issues over time are because he is a massive, insane hoarder. And the only reason I bring that up is because there is a character at the end of Greed Island, once the arc is over, that they walk in, and it is a complete one-to-one recreation of the author's shit garbage room. Just lying in trash.
So he called himself out?
Yes, he totally called himself out.
Okay.
And the character, the Gon, is just grossed out by his own creator, going, ugh. And like bad to the point of, hey, sit down. And he goes, dude. And he goes, oh, okay, 1 second. And just like mushes garbage out of the way. And is like, go sit down on that wet spot on the floor.
See, my brain always thought that famous mangaka had a big clean office and everybody in it was doing all their bidding and helping them.
If you're
It depends on the author.
If you're really, really big, you can work from home, and then you get to completely modify everything around. So Araki's...
Araki can't possibly be drawing in anything besides a museum with Greek pillars and running waterfalls.
Like, may have OCD because everything in his house is immaculate. From everything that I've seen.
There's a chapter in between cover, a chapter blurb where he talks about like finding his partner's false eyelash on the ground
and like freaking out
about it. Yeah, it was a whole episode.
So, and the weirdest part is that trash man is married to the creator of Sailor Moon, and I guess she just loves him enough to deal with the trash.
Any dead cats under there?
Fucking maybe.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
And so I bring this up also because the arc afterwards, which is, I remember people talking to me about Naruto and about the nightmare that is the Great Ninja War, because you went through all of what I know to be Naruto, and then you look at the stack of volumes on the shelf, and then like 60% of the entire series is the Great Ninja. Apparently, Great Ninja War is just super massive.
Holy shit!
Right?
Okay. I mean, in my brain, I'm like, well, I want to know what happened in the past, so that sounds like a decent idea on paper.
So Hunter x Hunter has been ongoing for a long time, right? Way past the anime adaptation. But at the time of its adaptation, or at the time of the Chimera Ant arc, there are 148 episodes in that anime run. 80 plus are Chimera Ant. More than half are just straight up. Ants. 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 Ants, though. And I think about that and I go, the arc right before where he showed us the garbage, and then the arc right after is about an infestation of ants. I can only surmise that the idea came to him because he was literally being overrun with filth and bugs.
Yeah, that's
actually.
That seems absolutely correct.
And took inspiration from that.
You take your own nightmares. They make for great manga fodder.
Yeah.
And so all of what this series has become highs and lows are because he's a super gross hoarder.
Yeah, maybe.
Possibly.
Little bits. So I'm going to obviously have to talk around the Chimera Ant arc. It's very famous, but there's obviously, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So I will do what Eyepatchwolf did for me when I asked about it. And it is use DBZ as an analogy. Because everyone fucking knows what DBZ is, right? So, quite simply, I don't agree with Eyepatchwolf's description of this arc. He has always sold it to me as, what if Majin Buu showed up in the Saiyan saga instead of Raditz? What would actually happen?
Okay.
That would be bad. Yes?
That would
we
be
can
bad.
all agree.
That would be a tough battle.
Yes.
Now, I disagree
the story would be over.
I disagree with that thing. I think that's a bit extreme. I think that's a bit ridiculous. And I've been workshopping a similar analogy that I think is slightly more accurate. So, Trunks comes back in time to warn the gang about the androids, but he doesn't know about Cell, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know that. And then he chops up Frieza.
And his dad.
And his dad kills him, no problem. So what if, instead of that happening, Trunks comes back and goes, hey, dudes, androids are coming. It's going to be real bad, right? And Frieza lands. And, hey, Frieza, what's up? Frieza walks out. And so do 17 and 18. And so does Perfect Cell, literally eating a baby. Like a human child.
Okay.
Just eating its brain.
Okay.
And they go, oh, all right. Hey, Goku fucking, what's it called? Hyperbolic time chamber. I guess you got Cell. What's that mean? Okay, Yamcha, you now have to defeat Frieza. Krillin, you now have to defeat 17.
Okay, and then split it up in that way.
And Piccolo, you now have to defeat 18.
What does Trunks do?
He gets fucking killed in 1 second.
Okay.
In fact, it might be the first thing that happens.
Okay.
Is Cell kills and literally eats him.
Okay.
So Trunks is the baby.
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever. And the point is that, this is... You have to stack up the team according to relative strengths, but it's all horrific mismatches.
Right.
It's all awful. And Cell might be literally eating hundreds of thousands of children's brains a day.
The problem with the Dragon Ball analogy is the way that Dragon Ball is written, it doesn't matter how hard you stack the deck. It really doesn't, because they just win regardless.
So,
But numbers have to come into play.
here's
True.
as opposed to strategy.
And here's where it works, whereas in DBZ, this would end the story instantly. Because, you remember I talked briefly about all that Nen shit?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, that kind of falls by the wayside, and they just start, they're just stands. Shut up, they are just stands. They are just Part 7 stands. It moves from, like, they'll explain to you exactly how it works in the background, but in the reality, it's, hey, what can you do? I can do this one weird thing, and boy, is it fucking weird.
Does it ever become my spirit clone can do this one weird thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Explicitly,
Okay.
in fact.
So it's not, yeah, okay. All right.
And long stretches of shonen battles are based around, he hasn't seen me use my not a stand yet. Therefore, we have an advantage because we've seen him use his not a stand.
And everyone's cautious.
Well,
right?
yeah, a lot of like things in like JoJo whatever is just, I need to see the nature of their attack and then I can figure it. Like that's
Right.
all they need.
Yeah, like, he probably has a close
So,
range stand. That means it's strong.
I'm using DBZ analogs because of like respective power and all
understandable,
that stuff.
understandable.
But it is actually stands, except for the main antagonist, who is actually just Perfect Cell. Doesn't show nearly any supernatural ability, whatever. He is a DBZ character dropped into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. With all the, like, in
Be
fact,
back 1 sec.
prior to this podcast, I pulled up a photo of said Ant King.
I don't even
That is Cell.
That is...
nothing to do with
Matt, look at this. Look at this
No,
photo.
he's going.
Okay, that is actually Perfect Cell.
That is actually just Cell.
And, like... All right.
Actually and factually. They didn't pretend.
That's just Perfect Cell, right? And so you have these tough characters you've spent this time with, and they're shit, and they're going, this is really bad,
Yeah,
and we're all gonna die.
Yamcha can't beat Frieza.
Yamcha? But yeah, by the way, Yamcha in this scenario is gone. Hey, 12-year-old, defeat the strongest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
No, we know you can't. It's literally on paper, you won't. So, but do it. Or else millions of people will die.
Well, yeah.
And not just die, like, get eaten. Like, when I say get eaten, I'm talking, like, it's not quite at Berserk, but the start of the arc is literally monsters eating children on camera. Like, it is bad. It is like, you've seen what Hunter x Hunter looks like. It's like One Piece almost. It's like, yay, bright colors, and then it's like, hand me that baby to eat, and then throw its chicken wing style bones onto the pile. It is nightmarish. It's really out of place. And I finally understand why when people look at Jump Force and look at the trailer for Jump Force, when they see, like, Gon do the thing, they go, that's weird and inappropriate. And that is not a Super Saiyan thing to do. That is bad. That is a weird power up to include as a power up in your game.
Okay.
And it has the most ridiculous.
I mean, they did it, so it's out there.
Well, it's a function.
And it's gone, but he's bigger and strong, and he's old, and he looks taller and buffer.
It is,
and that's that. You know, like
if you
from the outside looking in, this is what looks to be a power up.
So what it should be is that what it should be in the game is, regardless of whether or not you win the match, the other person wins the match.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Like it's that bad.
Okay.
And there's all sorts of goofy shit to go. Like, the arc is, like, really impressive. Like, I understand now why people are always like, I was told by some people, just skip everything and just get to Chimera Ant. And I can see why people would say it, because there's a lot of crazy shit. It has the most aggressive anime time stop ever. Because the whole arc builds up to the attack on the boss.
So how many of that 100 and some odd episodes is Chimera Ant?
80-ish. Maybe 70-ish. I might be exaggerating, but it's like
almost half.
It's half. It's half. Might even be more than half.
Okay.
So most of that is build up to, hey, we got to kill the guy, and then there's a countdown. Hey, we're gonna jump through the thing and we're gonna attack everybody. 10, 9, 8, blah blah 0. 23-minute episode of the first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Not even joking.
Yeah. Okay.
The first 10 seconds of them jumping into the fight is an entire episode. And it goes to every character and goes, all right, this is what they were thinking as they ran next to a staircase. This is what this person was thinking as they ran next to a staircase, etc. And then it flashes back and goes, 2 minutes before this is what happened above the location. This is what this person was doing over there.
That sounds nauseating.
It is crazy. And there are... They all split up because, of course, they do. And they end up going through, like, an entire season of Game of Thrones level of, like, location hopping inside one building. Where it's like, what was this octopus man doing for 5 episodes? And it's riveting because it's a weird octopus man who has to shoot a wolf in the face.
So, all of this works then?
It works amazingly well.
Okay.
The only thing that I can say that is a negative to it is that some of those little side, like, because they all split up, some of those stories are weaker than others. And the one that you really care about happens all the way at the end, because of course it does. And all the way at the end is like a year of broadcast. It's 40 in. Like, what? Hey, what's Gon doing? Is basically my question, right? What happens to Gon? It's 30 to 40 in as you follow everyone around, and Gon. What's Gon doing? Nope. Wait. Literally telling the viewer to wait.
We haven't done animating that yet.
It has the best. How do I put this? It has the best you didn't win I have ever seen in anything. Just a
I like a good you didn't win.
The most spiteful, cruel refusal of one's defeat ever.
To me, the pinnacle of that was the final case in Miles Edgeworth investigations.
Yeah.
Talk around
that
it.
final guy that was just like, you didn't win. No, we won. No,
Because
Okay.
really?
Because here it's congratulations, you actually completely won. But fuck you though. But fuck you. It also does something really that problem with anime. Let's take Naruto.
the anime doesn't have any problems.
Where Orochimaru killed all those people, but then they give him a pass because
In
You were
fact,
messed up.
every single evil person had a sad childhood.
right? The characters you're dealing with are literally weeks old because they're weird ant monsters. And the first thing they did was eat or kill hundreds of children. Like, right? On screen, like not implied, like you see it. So, as bad gets, and no, they didn't have a sad childhood. In fact, they're all happy-go-lucky. Yeah, eat the... God, what is it? What's the line? Hey, eat the kid's brains. The brains are more tasty. Right? And then, over the course of this extraordinarily long arc, the characters change and grow, and they become more human, and you get to see more
Personalities
their
develop,
personality,
yeah.
and you empathize with them a little bit. Right up until the point where it's like, yeah, but this person killed 500,000 people the day before this arc started. Like, so they're going to get it. And people in the situation are not the viewer and go, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, you might be having emotions here. This person ate tens of thousands of people. Like, it doesn't matter. Fuck. You can't roll that back. So yeah, Chimera Ant, great. A+. A++ anime thing. And aside from that, the series ends very quickly afterwards. Like, there's a 10-episode wrap-up, which, of note, is only one thing. And I will, again, use Naruto as an example because it's perfect. You know how Sasuke's a piece of shit?
No.
And just gets reintegrated into fucking society for no reason?
Actually, I don't know the details around how or why,
Well, they just reintegrate
but I
him
know
and
that he shows up later.
right? And he never gets it. He never gets the comeuppance that he so richly deserves.
Maybe he does, and then there's something. I don't know, but I know that he gets off and is alive.
So let's make it a little more vague. You know that character in that show that you fucking hate? You hate every part of the character. You despise them. You think they are a bad person, like in fiction, and you also dislike everything they represent about the show. You know what would be really satisfying? If the author knew that and had a actual scene in which hundreds of people in an auditorium literally point at them
That's pretty good.
and go, I hate you. You're a bad person. You're a bad character. We're gonna champion some guy because he doesn't like you. And that's it. Straight up. Like 140 plus episodes of buildup of, hey, I think this person's a piece of shit. And so does everyone in the entire world, apparently, going, you're a piece of shit. You are the worst person here. Shame on you. For like a while, too.
It's like when certain wrestlers are trying to get themselves over and they're like, man, I sure hate that John Cena, am I right? And everyone would be like, yeah, we hate him too. We're going to champion you now.
And that's kind of how the series ends. With a character that's been built up and built up and built up. And they're just a bad person.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. That's.
And they're just a bad person.
Now I know what you're talking
And
about.
everyone just goes, yeah, they're just a bad person.
Okay.
They suck.
So that's how that goes.
Yep.
Huh.
They're just a shitty person.
Okay.
There's no big reveal.
Okay.
There's no big reason. They just suck. And aside from that, that last arc at the very end is kind of weak. It's based on a monkey's paw. Probably the most vicious monkey's paw ever. Hey, Matt, you get everything you want on your monkey's paw.
Nice.
But the person who uses the monkey's paw next has to pay some kind of price in equivalency to what you asked for.
You mean like they have to give up something?
Okay, let me try. Hey, you asked for a sandwich, right?
Nice.
Okay, the next person has to give a fingernail. That's not so bad, right?
No.
You asked for $1 million. The next person has to give their spine.
Okay, but is the monkey's paw passed down to someone I don't like, or is it just a random person gets it?
It's a person.
But I don't have any say in who
No,
gets the monkey's
you
paw.
don't.
Okay, that's what I meant. Okay.
And in addition, if you fail to give your spine, you and X amount of people that you know will just explode on the spot.
That seems a little much.
Yeah, it's a bad monkey's paw. It sucks.
Why would you pick it up? Are you told this before you even make wishes?
In fact, yes, you are.
Okay.
Oh, so these are the Dragon Balls?
This is the worst Dragon Ball ever because it sucks.
Okay.
And the only problem with that is that the wishing bullshit is added immediately after a world threat that it could have solved. You could have gone to the wishing thing and gone, hey, kill all the Chimera Ants. And it would have happened like that. So it kind of robs that a little bit. But aside from that, great. Yeah, A+. That being said, my original complaint about Hunter x Hunter, which is Gon looks like fucking shit with that fucking green shirt on, remains. They knew to give him a wife beater for Chimera Ant, and he looks fine. He looks like a normal character. And then for the last episode, they give him that fucking shirt back, and he looks like an asshole.
People demanded it back. They missed it. That could be the only reason.
So speaking of would you rather things end or drift off, that anime actually does both. The Gon story is over. Like, it is done.
Okay.
And right before that happens, they go, hey, by the way, all the stuff that just happened, this is just the smallest part of we could go to the other dimension, or essentially.
Right.
And that becomes, hey, if you want to go to the other dimension, go read the fucking manga.
Gurren Lagann has a very good ending, but it could have drifted off somewhere.
It could have gone in a bunch of different fucking places.
And they didn't do it.
Yeah.
So having said everything you just did, and now me being able to infer as much as I have from it,
Yeah.
would you still say go read this thing?
Absolutely, without any question.
Yeah. Okay.
I now have context for the hilarious images that look like are drawn by a child, which are the end of Chimera Ant are just falling apart because the author is dying at the time. And yeah, I can see it. If he was overrun with ants and filth while writing that arc, I can see how he would have gotten really sick. Really sick.
Can you see how a man would build a YouTube channel on the empire of assault from our comments?
So I'm gonna look back. I'm gonna travel back.
That's the real question.
I'm gonna travel back in time to somebody who has watched Chimera Ant and very much enjoyed it. And Woolie, it was you that created it, right? It was you that created the Eye Patch Wolf. Going, Hunter x Hunter is the worst. I hate that show. It's so terrible.
Raised him from the Lazarus pits.
Everyone who likes that is stupid. And I can totally understand, the spite of, no, but you don't know, though. No, but you don't know. It is very much a show that hits its... The original anime adaptation was very bad. The new one is very good. However, it hits its stride. It goes from pretty good to excellent to genre-defining even, right? But it hits its stride over, a long period of time. And if you're not, signing up for that, yeah, sure. But when you're at the end and you're at the parts that are the best that this type of genre can be, and you look at Woolie going, it's so bad, I can totally understand it.
And you.
Well, no.
And you.
No, me, I need to be so clear. I never saw that old anime.
Yeah.
My 100% refusal was always based off of Gon's design sucking shit. And for most of the series, Gon's design sucks shit. And then when you hit Greed Island, he takes the shirt off and wears a wife beater for nearly the entire rest of the fucking series. Because the author, someone fucking told him, dude, it looks so bad. Because his arms are too long and the cuffs of his sleeves hit the bottom of his shorts and make him look like a weird freakazoid. It's awful. He sucks.
Eye Patch Wolf justified.
Yep.